I think most people would agree that there's very little more traumatic for anyone than for a parent to lose a child. There's something very particular about the loss of a child through stillbirth or at very early stages of infancy. I think probably we would have all experienced through either family members or friends and people who have had to go through that devastating experience. But I was struck by somebody who once told me that the only people who could ever fully appreciate that particular type of pain are people who've gone through it directly themselves, parents who found themselves in that situation, because it's a particularly lonely loss, because nobody else other than the parents knew the child, knew the baby. And therefore, it's impossible to imagine a scenario where somebody has to go through that pain and then try and come to terms. You never overcome the grief, but to try and come to terms with how to manage the grief, and then subsequently to learn that the baby's organs were actually shipped abroad with medical waste for incineration. And I don't think that anybody could expect parents to deal with that in an ordinary manner, for want of that term. And therefore, I think it's really important that we all reiterate our appreciation and our esteem for those families who have told their stories this week in respect as to what has happened in Cork. I want to welcome the fact that a review will be taking place. I want to encourage the Minister to ensure that it's time-framed, that we get the answers that are required as quickly as possible, that those answers are comprehensive, because, as has already been said, hundreds possibly of parents are today asking themselves the question, did that happen to the organs of my baby? So they need to be given that assurance. The point, and I want to just read this out from the article that I read the other morning when this story read on the RT website. And I think this is crucially important, because there's no party politics to be played here, but there are political questions that need to be asked. Because this segment of that article reads, in May 2020, hospital management sent an incident report on the incinerations to the Department of Health. However, management did not rate the incidents as serious, but did express concern about the adverse publicity for the hospital if it came to public attention. That, Minister, is absolutely scandalous, that even when they recognised that there could be a potential issue, they saw it in terms of public relations and PR, as opposed to what this might mean for the families involved and for the dozens and possibly hundreds of other families, as I said, who might have concerns about it. So, as well as the review, there also needs to be something that's almost unique in Irish public life. There needs to be accountability. Somebody needs to be held account for the series of events that led to very serious, very well-paid individuals coming to an agreement. This wasn't an accident. This was an agreement that children's body parts would be shipped off with medical waste for incineration.